Hello, it's April again. I just wanted everyone to know that it's Friday, and this is Friday Sews, where I talk about what I've been working on and a little bit of my life. The Friday Sews hashtag started with Jen and today in Jen's sewing room. If you're not following her, you probably should. And also, if you want to see any other of the YouTube bloggers that are working with the Friday Sews, just search hashtag Friday Sews and you'll see a lot. There's so many of them now, and I am really happy to be part of the group. So today I wanted to go ahead and show you first what I have been working on. Last time I had mentioned that I was working on the Opal tights from Petite Stitchery, and I did mention there was a little bit of a problem with how the pattern fit me. Usually things are too short for me, and I just made it straight out of the pattern how it's supposed to be, and it actually was too long. So I had to make a short, petite, I'm not sure how you call that, an adjustment to make it shorter. So what I did, and I have to, instead of making both the pairs of white tights that I wanted to make, I decided to make one first. I haven't sewed it up and tried it out yet. I just cut it out. But what I did, I'll show you the pattern. It's a long pattern piece. It has the little feety. So what I did, the length on the thigh seemed like it had too much material there, so I cut it right here in the shortening line right there, and I just went ahead and took it an inch and I overlapped it. And I also felt like the waist height seemed a little bit taller for me, which I did choose the high-rise waistband, but I didn't want to have to cut that down. I knew it was about an inch because I had 1 inch elastic on the waistband. So it also has another shorten lengthen line right here, and I just cut it and I overlapped it an inch on that one as well. So we'll see next week or whenever I get to it if this is the right adjustment for me. I think this is going to be fine, and then I will make the last pair, which are the jacquard ones that have the like lace in their sheer. So I'm really looking forward to that. I also started to get a little bit of my Sojo back, and I just started cutting and cutting, and you know, sometimes things go good and sometimes they don't. So I ended up cutting this material. I'm sure you remember some of these from my fabric haul not long ago. Anyways, this one, since it has really good four-way stretch, and I knew I only had 2 yards of it, I knew I could make it to one of my favorite patterns, which is the Ellie and Mac tea dress. And it's basically like a long t-shirt, a little bit flared out on the end, and you could just wear it around the house. It's totally comfortable. The only thing is if you're plus size like me, the only way you can get the 2 yards to work is the back pattern piece. Instead of having it cut on the fold, okay, so it's supposed to be cut on the fold. I knew I didn't have enough material. So what I did was I cut one piece from the pattern like this, and then the other side I cut with another piece. So there will be a center seam in the back of the dress, but I don't care. I've done it before and it looks totally fine, especially with a pattern you're really not going to notice a whole lot. So that's what I'm making with that one. And then I'll go to this one. This one, this material is so pretty. I've had this probably for about a year now, and I wanted the perfect pattern, and I laid down my pattern pieces, and I was thinking of doing something with a half circle skirt. I thought that'd be nice to have a little flare. And then I just kept going back to, and this, I'm going to sound like an Ellie and Mac commercial. I did start a lot of my sewing with the Ellie and Mac patterns. If you have not seen their sew-alongs and you're interested in sewing with knit, go check out their YouTube channel. Diana is amazing. She shows you how to sew really good with knit material. I learned so much from her. Anyways, this material, I am going to make the Wrapped in Love dress. It was actually my first pattern that I made myself from Ellie and Mac. The only adjustments I am making on this is I'm not making the length, the mid-length. I'm going to make it about to my knees. I find that is a little bit more flattering. And I thought about doing long sleeve, and I just really, I don't know about long sleeves so much. I like them for my t-shirts, but with dresses I feel like you can easily throw on a cardigan or a jacket, you know, and so I'm going to do the 3/4 sleeve. I feel like that's a good sleeve length for me, especially I live in Texas. If it gets hot, I can just roll it up, and if it gets cold, I can just leave it a little down, and like I said, layer. So I think that's going to work out really nice and be very pretty. And then the last one, I'm sure you remember this from a recent fabric haul. This was one from fabricmartfabrics.com, and oh my gosh, I don't know if you have ever cut several patterns at a time, and I knew I wanted to use the breezy dress. I totally love the breezy dress. The breezy and the tea dress are my favorite dress patterns from Ellie and Mac. Well, I don't know how this happened. I set the one pattern down and then the other pattern down. Somehow, instead of cutting out the, my plan was to make the top of it with the breezy dress with 3/4 sleeves, because I just kind of felt like I said with the long sleeve, I think I'm going to try the 3/4. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do the top with that. I know it fits really nice and it'll look good. And then the bottom, instead of using the breezy skirt part of the dress, it kind of, and I don't know if it goes like this because I'm more plus size, it goes like this a little bit more, and on the side, so when you're looking at it from the side, it shows a lot more of your thigh. I didn't want that. So I cut the skirt from the Tress Bell pattern. That's a really good pattern too, especially if you like the wrap look. I love the half circle skirt on that pattern, and that's what I wanted, was the half circle skirt, because it's not as big as the traditional circle skirt. It might be the same size, maybe it's just cut different, don't quote me. Anyways, I didn't want the dip on the side of my leg from the breezy, and I cut it out as the breezy, and I was like, no, that is not what I wanted. So I thought, okay, I have a lot of this material, I really want the half circle skirt. So what I did was I just moved those aside, and then I cut the half circle skirt pieces that I wanted, and I was like, okay, good, I have those. So I put those aside. And then the pieces that I had cut for the breezy bottom of the skirt, I knew it was still a lot of material. So I used that, and I cut the bodice of the breezy top and the back, and then I still had plenty of the leftover material for the sleeves and the neckband. So voila, I'm so happy about that. That is just so, makes me so happy. So that is what I've been sewing on. I did have a few things that I wanted to mention. Since Valentine's Day is coming up, I don't know if anyone has like an interest in like maybe sewing a dress for Valentine's. I don't know if anyone's going out for, you know, a date or anything, but it's always kind of fun just to make a dress or buy a dress. I did happen to find a few pattern places that have some free dresses. One of them I did see, I believe it was Sam from Frugalisma. She had the, I believe the company is Howler, and it's the Agnes Swing top and dress. And when you look in their freebie section, oh my gosh, they have a lot of freebies. I believe you have to go to their Facebook group, and you can get a code in the announcements, and you can get all these things that are like $10 on the website. You can get them for free, so I love a good freebie. There's also the Love Notions Laundry Day tee. I haven't made it yet, but if you join their Facebook group, you can also get a free code for the pattern on that as well. And right now they have their $5 Friday pattern. I believe it's called the Whistler or something. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I went ahead and got that today too, because it's an interesting like neck piece, and the pockets are different than any other pattern that I've seen. I've seen a few people that have like made it, and I'm just like, wow, it really makes me curious, so I want to try that out. And I'm sure everybody knows about Sinclair patterns. They have the Valley knit skater dress. I haven't made it myself, and I think that's going to be a goal. I think one of my patterns I'm going to try to make a month is going to be a free pattern, or maybe two, just to see how some of those work out. I have been doing good with making some new patterns, so I'm really working on that. And I think I'm also going to try to make a pattern from the Big Four as well. I don't really use my Big Four patterns, but I really need to, so I think I'm going to start doing that. So look forward to more videos of those. And with the Big Four, I believe I can show bits and pieces of me sewing it without anyone saying anything, because I know a lot of these companies get really finicky on, you can't sew that because they have a designated person that does tutorials, so I don't want to step on any toes. So I also wanted to mention Winterweardesigns. Also, their $3 pattern this week is a Raglan tee. I'm not sure of the name, I just remember it was a Raglan tee, and for $3, that's really not bad, and they have some really cute designs there. They also have a lot of free patterns. If you join their Facebook group and you go into the announcements, I believe it's announcements or the files, and you can look up all the codes. They might be kind of hidden, but they have a lot of them in there as well. And then as I was looking around, I found a company I've never heard of before, Rebecca Page, and there's a Phoebe party dress and a Paris lady dress. These look so pretty, and it says all you have to do is sign up to their website. So I will be signing up later and checking out their patterns, and I believe they were plus size, so that's really good. And on the plus size note, I've come across a, where is it? I wrote this down. Curvy Sewing Collective. It's like a web page that has all the curvy plus size pattern companies. So that makes things so handy to look at, because as y'all know, I had bought that Tilly and the Buttons book and I don't fit the patterns, so that would be nice to go through and find patterns that I could actually fit. So that's really nice. And let's see, I did want to mention, oh, I also went through this So Beautiful book from Itch to Stitch, and I decided on 2 patterns that I definitely will be making. Don't know really when, but hopefully soon. the Carlsbad cardigan and the Palmero. It's like a peasant type top, and you can make it into a dress if you add the tiers. I just want to make the top, and actually have the material right here. I bought this, I think it was one of the Walmart bin materials that they had, and I was planning on making the I cannot remember the name of it. Anyways, it was a peasant type shirt. So anyways, I think I'm going to use this for the Palmero. I think that is so beautiful. So I'm hoping that there's enough material there because that is so exciting. And that's, oh no, that's not all. I did want to mention Little Ragamuffin. I don't know if you're familiar with them. In their newsletter that I got in the email, it said that they are actually going to be giving, they've had a lot of new subscribers and new people on their Facebook group, and they're giving 50% off of their patterns until February 8th. So that's a really good deal. And she has some really pretty dresses that are totally different than a lot of the designers out there. So y'all might want to check them out. She's got a really good deal. I also wanted to remind y'all that the sewing, is it a challenge, I guess, giveaway or something? I'm not for sure what you really call it. Anyways, the hashtag JoyVivSewsBlue contest, maybe? Anyways, that ends February 13th. Remember, it has to have blue. Mint green doesn't count. Blue. And it has to have just anything that has blue in it. And it has to be for a person. I'll put the requirements in the description box if you're interested. I'm sure you can search the hashtag JoyVivSewBlues and find all the stuff if you want. I might even link the video for Viv at Viv Mom Sews and Joy Bernhardt, so maybe you can, you know, look at their videos and see what they say about it. Then okay, that's all with all the sewing stuff. This week has just been kind of crazy and all over the place. I live in Texas, and this week we're like in the 80s. It's like really nice and warm. When you leave out of the house in the morning to go do errands or whatever, it's about 40 or 50, so you have your heater on. By the time you get home, it's 80 and you're cranking your AC on because you're hot. So strange weather. Anyways, next week, I believe it's Wednesday, we are going to have a really big cold front. When I say that, I mean it's going to get like 15 degrees at night, and I think our high is only going to be like 20 or 30 in the day. So really, really cold, really fast. So I'm really hoping that me and my kids don't get sick, and my husband, you know, my granddaughter. It's one of those times when I know a lot of people say that doesn't factor in. I kind of feel like it does sometimes. Or at least maybe it brings the allergies about. I'm not for sure. Anyways, I did finish my husband's quilt at the end of the month, and I will have a January Makes video up soon. I did decide, I don't know if anyone noticed, but I did not have a January plans video, and I'm not going to do a plans video for the months, and I decided I don't think I'm ready to do a capsule wardrobe. I think I don't really I like structure, but I don't like to be told what to do. I like to do things when I get the urge to just go and do it. So I think it's going to work better for me if I just post a makes video at the end of the month to show everyone what I made for the month. I do want to start having, I did post my serger and my cover stitch video, and if you haven't seen those and you need to, go look for them. They're easy to find. But I do want to start posting like how to thread the rest of my sewing machines. I have one sewing machine that always causes problems. A lot of people love it, and sorry, I'm just not a big fan. So maybe someone could even give me tips on that. I don't know. But I want to start showing some like tips on how to sew stuff and what to do. Like I said before, I know I can't do it with these indie patterns because, you know, a lot of the people don't want you taking into their stuff. You know, they have people that do that, and I respect that. You know, I don't want to take from that from anyone. I also, this week, we filed our taxes, so yay! Not really going to get much back. If anything, like I told my husband, it'll cover our house taxes for next year, and then we'll have a couple hundred if we happen to have any, like, car problems or anything. So, that's fine, you know. And then, oh, I also wanted to mention, I got lucky this week. I won a $10 gift card from Sageville Patterns on Facebook. I'm so excited about that. So I will be getting a pattern from them. I already have a lot of their patterns, so it's not going to be hard for me to pick something because I already have a lot of them. But they're a really good company. So far they seem to be a small company. I haven't seen a whole lot of their stuff, but you might want to check them out. It's Sageville Patterns, and they have some cute stuff. I do think that I will be making her, it's called Violet Loungers. It's like, I'll just post a picture somewhere, but I think they're cute, and I like wearing those kind of like loungy pants in the summer. That way you can just go and leave. You can wear them in the house and then go leave, and then you're fine. So that's pretty much all I was wanting to talk about, except for my little kitty. Oh my gosh. His name is Castiel, and my husband actually had found him at his job. He was abandoned. His mom, I'll post a picture in here of him at my husband's work. His mama had left, and she took all the other kittens with her. So he was only like 2 weeks old when we got him. He had no teeth. We had to bottle feed him, and let me tell you, that is a lot of work to bottle feed an animal. Now, he is kind of high-strung or frisky, aggressive. I don't really know. I hope it's not because he's a wildcat. But anyways, he is about at the 3-month mark, maybe a little bit over now. And he will be going Monday to go get surgery, to go get fixed. So hopefully he'll start calming down a little bit. But I wanted to show him on camera. He's a sweetie, even though he's mean. Look, Cass. Look at the camera. Oh, quit biting me. I told you he's a little mean. Try to get his attention. He's a little pretty boy. And I don't know if you know what he is. He is a Lynx Point Siamese. And like I said, he's really into biting. And I'm going to ask them why he still doesn't have the front 4 teeth. I don't know if there's something wrong with that.
Also doesn't have the bottom.
But, oh, we don't have the bottom. He don't have the bottom either. Oh. But that doesn't stop him from eating. Obviously, he's the size of a full-grown cat already. So, there's that. That's the first time he's been on the camera. Usually when y'all see a cat, you see Khaleesi. That's my other Lynx Point. It's my daughter's cat. We also have a Russian Blue. Her name's Cleo, and she's kind of mean and to herself, but that's fine. And then we also have a little Shih Tzu, not really so little. She's probably one of the biggest ones you'll see. She's also mixed with Maltese, and her name is Sasha, and that dog is just wild. Like, she is hyper. She loves my husband, and she's a good dog. She really is. So, I feel like I've been rambling on forever. I do want to thank all my new subscribers. I've had so many lately. I am just blown away. I want to thank all of y'all so much, and thank everybody that keeps coming back to see me. I don't know, maybe I am a little interesting. Usually weird things happen to me, and it's just a little bit, you know, that's how I am. But like I said, I just wanted to say thank you, and I really hope that everybody has a blessed weekend. Please make sure that you get your taxes filed soon. I have to get my car registration on my car. So it's that time, you know, we have to adult. But anyways, please like my channel if you like anything that you saw. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Ring the notification bell if you're interested on getting any kind of notification. So, anyways, y'all have a very blessed weekend. Bye.